One chance, one life, one take. Little room for mistake. Who do you
Welcome to the Dead Funny, Dead Serious podcast. This is the series 30 End-of-Life Doulas in 30 Days. My name is Mitzi and I'm the host of this series. Today's End-of-Life Doula is Andrea Fitzgerald and her business is Goldenwillow Doula. Nice to have you here. Welcome, Andrea.
Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. So we are going to dive right in and just start right away with your why. Why did you become an end-of-life doula?
I became an end-of-life doula because my bonus father, he became my dad when I was 10. And he decided that he wanted to die at home. And prior to that, I was a professionally trained birth doula, childhood sexual assault, postpartum doula, trained at Bastyr University Syncom Center in Kenmore, Washington. And the reason why I decided to train for that was because when I had my own child, I had a home birth that was successful. And the reason why I did that was quite selfish on my end, but then I learned it was always good for the, whomever, it was good for my baby. And for me, because every other birth I had been a part of, there was like this big entourage. And I come from a trauma-informed care. I'm a Washington State certified trauma-informed care peer counselor. It just, when I went to meetings with my baby and I listened to others or La Leche League meetings, I didn't have the language to talk to. I didn't understand their experiences, although I thought I went through an experience that was, like it hurt, it's like muscles work that I didn't know. And I just didn't want a lot of people around. And I honor that.
Yeah.
In both birth, postpartum, and death. All life transitions, it depends on the person. If you want a lot of humans around you, great. But if you don't, that was me. So going to these co-op meetings in my community of home birth women, hearing other situations, and I recognized that I needed more language, so I decided to study as much as I could, and I went to Bastyr University Syncom Center, and I took every class that they've had. Birth doula, postpartum doula, the Native and Black history, Annie Syncom is what amazing leader, and since then, I've just kept on my journey. And then when my bonus dad died of end-stage renal failure, he wanted to die at home. He had been in the hospital so many times. And I found myself, he called me. My son and I were there the next day. He was 5 at the time, my son. And we stayed there for 5 weeks, and I just watched. I recognized I was setting up the home just like I would for a home birth or any other postpartum, and that's when I recognized. And then when the hospice nurses came in, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, ding, ding, ding. Okay. And it's quieter, and I like quiet. So, no disrespect to birthing women. I've been one, but it was a beautiful experience. And then I knew, and then at that time, in that 5 weeks that I was there, I would wake up at 3 a.m. and get online and make sure everything was ready for the home, my parents' home, and I was online, and I found the NHFA, and that was my guide.
Yeah.
Oh,
The National Funeral Association, correct?
That's correct. Yes. And that was 7 years ago. And I ordered every book. that they had because they were affordable. But I just listened to their YouTubes and was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, just like birth. I was so clouded, and I'm so grateful. And I'm so grateful for all the most knowledge that I've learned post then. I immediately signed up for Whatcom or for hospice training, soaked in anything I could, orphan wisdom, Bodhi B, Ram Dass, just went down the rabbit hole, and it's so important for our mental health.
Yeah, I think that that's really important. And thank you for sharing that. I think the piece from birth until death, you earlier, when we were talking, you called it full spectrum doula. I just love that term. So I just wanted to make sure that it's on record here.
Yeah, I am a full spectrum doula, birth, postpartum, and death. And I'm very proud of that. I don't want to say proud, but it's only from life experiences. And I believe that's why we do the things that we do in this work, is to continue advocating for mental health. Like, take it back 50 years,
Yeah. Your training in trauma-informed care sounds like it was really beneficial as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Trauma-informed care is it's important. I'm a trained EMT with my last home where I lived, and in that community. I just remember going in, it was just like this huge, like, it wasn't even like what my mentor who taught me the first swoon, like, it was more like, it's like, can we just slow down a little bit? I understand everybody's excited, but can we just slow down, and see what happens and see what's said and not talk too much.
You cover two of my favorite things in general. Well, one is peer specialists, I think, are just one of the most wonderful things that were ever created in Washington State, and I'm just the biggest advocate, so let's start there. And then trauma-informed death care, what is happening? Woo! It's my favorite thing to talk about, so you got me right there. So when you're looking now at the challenges that you've had in working in end-of-life care, is there anything that stands out?
Are you speaking like in this past year or in general?
Yeah. So this, I have been stating in every recording, we are recording this in March of 2021. We are at the end of coronavirus and a global pandemic. So it is definitely something that has been very difficult. At the same time, any challenges really finding clients before the pandemic, any bureaucratic red tape that you found? No,
Mike, I love and I admire all the doulas, that sisters and brothers or humans, they, them, that are called to this work. And we all have our own way of going about it. I'm led to my clients. Yeah. All my friends are like, get a website. I'm like, what? I can barely keep up with my Instagram and my emails, yeah. And I don't, and respectfully, it's just, I'm led to my clients and grateful for that. And I'm grateful to live in such a beautiful community, 3 counties wide, and I'm actually called all over the state. Yeah. And I've had to kind of rein that in because I was running too ragged, and decided that, like, whew, it's, self-care. So I bought myself a new guitar. I play the bass and the drums, but I bought myself an acoustic guitar, and now I'm learning the guitar. But yeah, like, it's that's one thing I would like to convey to every doula, light worker, whatever label you'd like to call yourself, why we're all here. Just to be advocates and help is just to, and I am such an advocate on self-care, but I forgot about myself last month, and which was okay. But it's important that we all sorry about the motorcycles. I guess not really. They're really great, but it's easy to get not caught up because we're self-aware, right? However, in our own lives, like, just making sure that we take care of our own bills and we take care of like our house and make, not everybody else's. I don't mean everybody else's, just the humans we serve.
Yeah, it's a hard job, and self-care, while we're empathetic to and caring for others, it's a fine line. We have to do both things. We have to be empathetic and care for them, and then also care for yourself with a new guitar.
And I self-care, shove down your throat, like, thank you, but I'm gonna maybe go, my self-care is putting my hands in the dirt and raking and actually going and helping my friends do the same on their own properties.
It sounds like you found a good balance between the work that you're doing and being called all over the place. So
that's my hope. But I'm grateful. In my 3 counties up here, we're gaining more of folks that are humans that are wanting to collect, and that has been my biggest goal, because there's such a need up here for palliative care. And right now, palliative care is only served for cancer patients, and they're on wait lists. And chronic disease is where I serve the most, for mostly folks that are married or partnerships, whatever that means to whomever, and trying to navigate how that transitions. Yeah. So not so much, and then going into advanced care planning. There's a bigger spectrum of just the death aspect, and legacy. It's the relationship aspect.
I think that you're really touching the point on one. I want to make clear you're up in Northern Washington State. Yes. Northern Washington State. And we're talking about advocacy for palliative care needs and in general, right? I think we're getting into your hopes, right? Is that we all kind of work together to make sure that these needs are met, that we can help when we are called to, how we're called to, but also, keep kind of sounding the horn that there's more.
And taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, is taking another one, motorcycle, just taking care of ourselves too. Like, but I just told my friend, like, put your own mask on. And he was like, what mask? Like this one? And I'm like, no. Airplanes. Remember?
Yeah.
Like, what is the girl, the stewardess,
Yeah. So, I mean, so much easier said than done sometimes, but it is important to keep shoving it down our throats because it is hard to do.
And that's why we have I'm grateful that you're doing this 30 days and 30 doulas. I am excited to see what comes from this and what you learn and what we can learn together, and maybe hopefully create something where we can talk. I would enjoy that.
Yay.
Immensely.
Yeah, we're here to be of service to both the end-of-life doulas that are in practice, those that are thinking about it, the public that doesn't know what you do and how you do it or why. And I think that we're answering that question with just 30 so different doulas in the best way possible. Everyone is just such a wide range, and we're learning a lot as we do this. So I just want to thank you again. These conversations will continue. I promise. It's in the works, so don't you worry about that.
Oh, I have no worries. I just wanted to say that, like, I'm more of an advocate of, I support anybody's final disposition, but I am very much, into more of the green burial, that side of things. But always,
Yeah.
what anybody needs, but that's where my heart lies, and my advocacy. So, and with military veterans. So I would very much like to support growing veterans, plugging,
All right.
and veteran rights.
Yeah, I'll put those links. I'll get those from you and I'll put those in the show notes. So I want to say thank you, Andrea, for being here and sharing your how and why. I think it's really helpful to understand all of that. Again, your business is called Goldenwillow Doula. I'm going to put in the show notes Instagram. So please follow and start being part of that conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone that's listening to this podcast or watching on YouTube. If you're enjoying the series, please, it'd mean the world to us if you subscribe, like, give a review, whatever the heck you want to do. But one of those would be awesome. That's all for today. And we're going to see you in the next episode.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me.